I, Dr. Ruchi Tiwari, State President, Women's Forum SPSR, on behalf of SPSR, welcome you all to the national webinar on Pharma Career Voyage, Paving the Way Ahead by extremely talented Mrs. Vidhu Saxena. I would like to extend my gratitude towards Dr. Shashi Alok, President SPSR, and extremely versatile and dynamic Mrs. Swati Jain, National Joint Secretary SPSR, for giving me the opportunity to transact such an informative webinar today. I would like to brief about Women's Forum first. Women's Forum SPSR is for the empowerment of all the women across the country who are involved in pharmaceutical sciences and research. Our forum is committed to encourage more and more women to rise and uplift their status as pharmacists, either in production, management, research, drug analysis, sales, education, quality control, or any area of pharmacy. We are here to help cultivate leadership skills, promote entrepreneurship, instill an optimistic approach in women pharmacists by enabling them to utilize their attributes and nourish their talent by assembling together a plethora of professional and academic skills and vast experience of women in pharmacy profession across the country. We even look forward to collaborating with our other organizations in near future who work in the areas to meet similar goals. So this is about the Women's Forum SPSR. Now I would like to request Ms. Swati Jain to take the lead. Swati ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ruchi. I, Swati Jain, National Coordinator, Women's Forum and Joint Secretary SPSR, on behalf of Women's Forum SPSR, welcome you all to attend a national webinar on the topic Pharma Career Voyage, Paving the Way Ahead. Before we commence this session today, on behalf of Society of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, we express our deepest condolences on the recent passing of Dr. Jairam Patel. To say Sir was a big part of our lives would be an understatement. He will always be remembered as a great academician, an asset to the entire pharma fraternity. The wisdom he gave will live long past his body for generations and generations to attempt to embody. But since, other than many of his great teachings, we have also learned from him that whatever happens, we must always move on. On this note, I proceed further with today's session. I heartily welcome our eminent speaker, Mrs. Vidhu Saxena, Assistant Professor and Placement in Charge, KIET Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Thank you, Mrs. Vidhu, for accepting our invitation to enlighten the pharma aspirants on a very prominent topic today. Our audience is surely going to be benefited from your proficiency and depth of expertise. I earnestly welcome noteworthy Professor Dr. Shashi Alok, President SPSR, extremely versatile Mrs. Monica Sabharwal, Secretary SPSR, President and Vice President of Women's Forum SPSR, today's moderator, highly talented Dr. Ruchi Tiwari, State President Uttar Pradesh of Women's Forum SPSR, all dignitaries and office bearers of SPSR who are working tirelessly to strengthen the foundation of society, and our virtual, national, and international audience who are attending the webinar today. I feel glad to announce that this is the second webinar conducted by the Women's Forum of Society of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, and we already have got over 1,500 registrations for this amazingly interesting webinar today, not only from India, but from different parts of the world. To name a few, we have got with us attendees from Romania, Indonesia, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Ukraine, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Yemen, Egypt, Algeria, Ethiopia, Azerbaijan, Tanzania, Bhutan, Pakistan, Macau, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Syria, Mauritius, Philippines, Nepal, UAE, Albania, Germany, etc. We are thankful to have an intellectual, admirably curious, and thoughtful audience today. And I'm sure that you all will find this webinar engaging and extremely helpful. I now request Dr. Ruchi to kindly introduce our speaker to the audience. Over to you, Dr. Ruchi.
Thank you, ma'am. It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Vidhu Saxena. Mrs. Vidhu Saxena started her professional career from Cipla Limited Indore as a quality control analyst. and then moved to product management team at United Biotech Private Limited, New Delhi. After gaining an insightful industrial experience, she decided to utilize her skills and knowledge gained in her journey to bridge the gap between industry and academia. She joined as an assistant professor at KIET Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad, in October 2018, wherein she is actively involved in training and placement activities of pharmacy students. She is also a certified trainer from Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council. Her area of interest is pharmaceutical management and research. She is currently pursuing her PhD in pharmaceutical management from IIHMR. Mrs. Vidhu Saxena is also an alum of VNS Faculty of Pharmacy. We welcome you all. We welcome Mrs. Vidhu Saxena in this recent presentation. Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your time uh, for this presentation. First of all, I would like to introduce about the topic of the today, the pharma career. Most of us will spend a significant amount of time and effort throughout our lives in improving our career. The decisions we make shape how our career progresses, and the right decisions can ensure it is successful and fulfilling. Early decisions can have a strong influence, especially in today's competitive job market, wherein a university degree will not guarantee the best job. So it is vital these early decisions are well informed and based on access to as much information as possible. A good career path can improve quality of life, create a sense of purpose, provide adequate income, and determine the social and economic contributions an individual can make to their community and society. The number of directions a career in pharmaceutical sciences can take a nearly limitless. Developing new medicines or improving the way they are delivered, investigating crimes, and providing regulatory guidance, enhancing the durability of pain too. All these roads begin in the same place. The range of careers open to pharmaceutical science graduates is growing even more diverse, and not all of them involve working in a lab. Why are the options so broad? Maybe it's because pharmaceutical science graduates love challenges. They have exceptional theoretical knowledge, but they also possesses the sort of practical skills that mean they can tackle the challenges of industry straight away. Continuing the same, regarding the pharmaceutical career, the topic of the today's webinar is Pharma Career Voyage, Paving the Way Ahead. I would like to request Ms. Vidhu Saxena to kindly take the session and continue the various aspects of the pharma careers our students can go forward. Ms. Vidhu, Ms. Vidhu ma'am.
Thank you so much, the team SPSR, for such a like warm and hearty welcome. And it's been a privilege and pleasure to me to be a speaker today on a very interesting topic for our beloved students of pharmacy. So a very warm good morning to all the participants who have joined for today's session. As a very nice introduction has already been received by you all. My name is Vidhu Saxena. I'm working as an assistant professor in KIET School of Pharmacy, and today I will be sharing few of my insights on a very relevant topic, which is a pharmaceutical career voyage, the way ahead. So we are going to have few of the discussions which are kind of like the curiosities which the students must be having in their minds, like what after their graduations, post graduations, or maybe the PhDs or postdocs, the career paths they may choose in the pharma domain. So I will be sharing few of my insights with you all. And I'm going to share the thoughts through a presentation. So I'm just going to share a screen, share my screen with you all. I hope my screen is visible to all the participants.
Yeah, it's
Okay, thank you so much. So, as already addressed beautifully by Dr. Ruchi Tiwari ma'am, we will be discussing about Pharma Career Voyage, paving the way ahead. So, as the topic say, we all are pharma professionals. We are working hardcore in the fields of pharmacy. We are trying to build the young budding pharma professionals who would take our country, India, to the new heights in the domain of pharma field. But somewhere we feel a kind of a gap, where we need to have a kind of bridge, so that whatever the basic curiosities or the questions which the students have in their minds, it can be it can be answered on a well note. So we will be starting on a very basic concepts. We will be discussing about few of the few of the very relevant career options which a pharma student can choose. We will be also discussing about the challenges which we are going to face after this COVID pandemic situation is going to going to take a halt, and then how are we going to plan our way ahead, how we have to plan our strategies, our maybe like skills, education, and all those things to take care of. So I'm going to start with a very relevant question, that why pharmacy? I mean, if I ask my participants who have all joined across the world, why did you choose your career as a pharmacy? You could have opted any other career as well. You could be into medical domain, you could be an engineer, you could be an astronaut, you could be a scientist or something. So I would request my participants to be participative in nature, I would say, and just give me few of very genuine answers which would be core from your heart, that why did you choose your career as pharmacy. What was the thought which drifted you towards choosing this career. So I'm going to expect few of the very good answers, and after the session ends, we will be looking on to that answer. So why pharmacy? I mean, if I tell you about my journey, I was very passionate about the thing called drugs. The science behind this molecule, the mode of action, the basic the path through which it cures the disease, it eliminates the pain out of the body. I was very curious about that particular aspect. And when it came to deciding the career, I thought of choosing pharmacy as my career option. So without any break or anything, after just my intermediate, I joined pharmacy. I joined B Pharm in Institute of Pharmacy, Bundelkhand University, Jhansi, from wherein I pursued my undergraduate degree. So this was my journey. Now, as I will be expecting few of the very genuine answers from my audience, I'll move ahead to next question, that what is pharmacy? Now, to each and every particular person, the definition of pharmacy holds some beautiful corner around their heart. So if I ask 10 people what is pharmacy, they might come up with 10 different definitions. But everywhere you will be aligned towards some or the other domains we have in pharmacy. Because ours is such a beautiful domain, where we don't have a limited number of career options with us. It's not like that if we are doing a kind of like engineering, then you are going to be a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer or maybe a CSIT person. But in our profession, in pharmacy, if you are completing your undergraduation, you have multiple domains open. You can be into production, you can be into QC, quality assurance, you can be into technology transfer. If you're good into marketing, you can do well in sales and marketing profile. You can do excellently well in pharmacovigilance, medical coding, and whatnot. So for each and every individual, the term what is pharmacy is entirely different. So I'm going to come up with a very basic and a genuine definition so that all our participants can understand what is pharmacy. Basically, it is the science and technique of preparing and dispensing drugs. It is a health profession which links health sciences with chemical sciences, and the basic aim here is to ensure the safe and effective use of pharmaceutical drugs. So that is what is pharmacy. Okay. Now comes a very basic question, that what are the aspects of pharmacy? If we look to the term aspect, then in Hindi we call it as pehlu. Okay, so each and everything has got his aspects. It's different facets, I would say. But as a student, what are the aspects we have for a pharmacy student? So on a very basic thread, I mean, I'm not going to go into very like robotic or hardcore techniques, but on the very, I would say the foundation aspects, if we talk about pharmacy, then we have got two sides. The first is the theoretical sides, which we study in our class, okay, which your professors and lecturers help you at the time of explaining the different concepts and the different subjects we have in pharmacy. The second aspect we have is the practical side, which we perform in the laboratory. So what all the knowledge we have inculcated in the classroom studies, we try to implement into the practical sides. So our experiments are so magical and beautiful. You can create a tablet, you can create an emulsion, a suspension, and whatnot. You can go for different kinds of titrations, analysis, extractions. So these are the two main verticals we have in pharmacy. The one is the theoretical side, the other is the practical side. And if one wants to have a successful career path after their studies into pharma domain, first of all, they have to start with the scratch. They have to look to the basic aspects, and they have to be strong into these two particular aspects. Students some of the times turns out to be very casual, whenever there comes to the study part. They would like that they think in a manner that we will go for a one-night study or a one-day study sort of things, and we will pass with flying colors in the examinations. So that is something which will only be there in your degree marks, that you have scored 80% or 90%. But whenever you are going to go into the real professional world, whatever the basic skills and knowledge which you have gained at your tenure of education is going to help you. So it is my humble request, first of all, to start with scratch and be very sure and confident about the concepts which you are going to get at the time of your college studies, be it in your UG level, in your PG level, or maybe in the other higher education levels. Okay. So I hope I am trying to reach out to the pace of all the participants who are here. And if there is any queries which are coming up in the student's mind or in the participant's mind, they can put up in the chat box. And in the end of the session, we are going to discuss it one-on-one. Okay. So I'm going to move ahead now, and we will be discussing about the opportunities we have in the basket for a pharma graduate. Okay. So after completing your studies in pharmacy, you can have a job in government sector. You can be a government certified pharmacist. You can be into a central government post of pharmacist. You can be into some senior level positions also, like being a drug inspector or any other respectable positions in the government domain. Then you can have different job opportunities available in the private sector also, which we are going to discuss in detail in the upcoming sections. You can also be an entrepreneur. Okay, so ours is a domain which gives you a platform to be an entrepreneur also. So after receiving your pharmacist degree, you can apply for the registration in the respective state pharmacy councils. This is what the scenario we have in India. So it depends upon the country wise the regulations which the countries which the different countries have in their respective domains. So in India, the state pharmacy councils are going to approve the registration certificates, and then you can have your own pharmacy shop, or maybe a kind of private limited setup. You can be a CFA agent, a stockist, a distributor. You could have your own startup business. So rather than a job seeker, you may be a job provider in the upcoming future. So if you go for this particular path. The third alternative is the doors are always open for higher studies also. So if you are into no kind of like research, or you want to do something something well in the field of research or maybe innovation, then you can pursue higher studies also. So after UG, you can go for PG, PG, or I would say MPharm. Is now not only limited to MPharm, where we have very different and beautiful verticals like pharmacology, pharmaceutics, quality assurance, then clinical pharmacy, pharmacognosy. But now the doors are open to new no domains also. Like you can go for pharmaceutical no MBA, Pharm MBA. You can do PG in public health. You can do PG in healthcare management. You can do PG in no hospital management. So now the postgraduate degree is not only limited to what all options we have in MPharm level, but you can go for the management levels also. And the other options which I have, the things are going to be interdisciplinary in the nature. Now, maybe after a few years, it is not going to be like, yeah, this is from pharma field, this person is from engineering field, this person is from management field. Now, we are going to come up with something, I would say a new word, like rather than we are creating a pharmacist, we are creating pharma engineers. And a very good example for this is a very renowned institution we have in our country, which is in Varanasi. It is Pharmaceutical Institute of Pharmaceutical Engineering. So I can proudly say that we are the specialists in the field of pharma, in the field of engineering, and in the field of management as well in the upcoming future. So we have to prepare ourselves from now on only to have an interdisciplinary thought process, interdisciplinary skills, and that kind of the knowledge set. So the basic takeaways will be here that look upon to your core subjects which you have, but also try to be looking to some new domains or the skills you have around your atmosphere. Try to gain some knowledge in the sections of artificial intelligence, in the sections of data sciences, in the sections of R programming, and whatnot. Think in a multidisciplinary manner. And this is how it is going to help you to build a beautiful career path in the future. These are the basic scopes we have in the pharmacy, but the pharmacy's scope is not limited up to these sections only. We have I can say a penultimate number of options in the pharmacy to choose as a career. So we can start with either production QC QA, research and development, analysis and testing, sales and marketing, hospital pharmacy, community pharmacy. You can be a very good person in product management team, which is PMT, academics, regulatory affairs, pharmacovigilance, medical content writing, medical coding, and many more. So let's discuss them one by one. The first and the foremost core section we have is production, QC, and QA. Now it is called as the heart of pharma career. So if someone is like very attached to pharmacy as a career, and they are like very good into experiments, and they are always into like of creating something or testing something, then this is the career which a student can choose. They can be they can do wonders in the fields related to production, QC, and QA, where you can you can explore your career options not only in the fields of creating the medicines, or I would say the different sorts of formulations, but also you can work into the API sections as well, or in the API plans, or maybe in the in the intermediate or the formulation dosage forms. So depending upon your interest, whether you want to be into the core chemical section where you will be working on the APIs manufacturing, or whether you want to be in the formulation sections where you will be creating different formulations like tablets, capsules, parenterals, solid dosage forms, liquid dosage forms, you can choose your career path. The beautiful thing here in production and QC and QA is that we are not only limited to the medicament domain, but we can stretch out to the other associated fields also. Like you can be a very good person in the field of cosmeceuticals, in the field of nutraceuticals, in the field of toiletries and whatnot. You can have a career option in the fields of biologicals also, in the fields of vaccines, seras, or maybe in the sections related to medical devices, where you can give your insights and technical expertise in creating the different medical devices which are being used nowadays. Okay, few other relevant sections include veterinary medicines, the perfumery sections, as well as the nutraceuticals, as I have already told you. So you can have a very enriching experience in the fields related with production. I'll go on to the second section, which is for the students who are interested into research and into the development part. So depending upon the kind of research they are interested in, they can do wonders in the field of like formulation development, or maybe analytical development, or maybe into new drug discovery research, process development, and domains like that. But if you want to be a part of R&D in any of our reputed organization, you have to have few higher degrees. So students need to pursue either M.Pharm or PhD to do well in any R&D section in any reputed pharma organization. Okay. Now I'll move ahead to the next domain, which is the analysis and the testing. So we already have looked into the section related to production. The related segment we have is analysis and testing, which is dedicated to quality control and quality assurance. So those students who are interested into the testing part, they like testing, they like performing experiments, they can do wonders in the field of quality control department. Because QC is such a domain wherein each and every material which is coming inside a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant gets tested. So be it the APIs, be it the excipients, be it the packaging materials, though all the contents which are coming up inside the pharmaceutical premises, which are going to be a part of the medicaments, maybe in its preparation or maybe for its packaging, needs to get tested by the QC department. So you have different sections in the quality control department. You can be a part of raw material section, finished product section, then IPQC, then you can be a part of stability section, you can be a part of packaging material quality control department. So depending upon your interest, you can choose your specific department in the quality control section. Second is quality assurance. Now QA is the domain which is kind of process oriented in nature, and they are the people who assures you about the quality of the medicaments which are preparing inside the pharmaceutical premises. So these are the team which keeps a thorough check and a review, we could say a kind of monitoring on whatever the processes which are happening inside the manufacturing premises. So what all the sections which are happening in the production department, in the quality control department, in the different sections will be taken care by the QA team. So QA is a kind of a like white collar job. You are going to be you are going to command everyone, monitor everyone, and I mean it is a very good domain where you can work and you can work with flying colors. A third beautiful vertical you will find inside the manufacturing premises is technology transfer, tech transfer. Now, tech transfer is also kind of a white collar job, because these are the people who are involved in the tech transfer department. They are the people who are involved with technology transfer from one particular department of that particular pharma industry to their own into their own no manufacturing plant. So say for example, if I take the example of Cipla, so if Cipla R&D has has come up with a pilot plant scale up, and now they need to they need to expand that particular pilot plant which they have created. So they will transfer the technology to their different manufacturing plants they have across the country. So there will be a particular technology transfer team into different manufacturing plants, and they will be coordinating with the R&D so as to help them in channelizing the things. So whatever the I would say the loopholes are or the gaps are there which needs to be fulfilled, that is being taken care by the technology transfer team. So the people who are very learned, who have got good experience in the manufacturing setup, in the R&D section, they can do well in the tech transfer team. So this is all we have in the analysis and in the testing section. I'll move to the next domain, which is sales and marketing. Now, sales and marketing is such a field which is a kind of like a well-paid job, I would say, in pharma section. Because whenever we talk about sales and whenever we talk about marketing, here is whatever the products which are being manufactured, the medicines which are being manufactured, the people who are involved in sales and marketing are going to sell it to the prospective customers. Now, whenever we talk about pharma domain, our prospective customers are not patients. Our prospective customers are the registered medical practitioners. These are the doctors. Because until and unless they are not going to write your medicines under the prescription, the pharmacies are not going to sell it. The patients, the end consumers are not going to purchase it. So ours is such a domain where we cannot advertise our medicines until and unless it is an OTC product, over-the-counter product. So we have to have a very rigid sales strategies and marketing strategies to make sure that, yeah, doctors do write your product. And they will only write until and unless they are sure about the quality which your medicament is having. Okay. So it is a kind of like an art, I would say, to sell something to a person who is very learned about that particular segment. So sales people are directly involved in creating the business, while marketing team is someone who helps in creating the strategies, the work plans, maybe the short term or the long term plannings, or how are we going to stretch our sales. So sales and marketing is for the people, is for the students who are into this art of selling, into art of creating strategies, policies, and things like that. So sales and marketing is this particular domain. Pharma sales and marketing is a highly technical and commercial field which offers excellent opportunities and career growth to the pharmacy graduates. It starts with field medical representative. So if you're joining as a fresher, you will be a territory manager. But who knows, after a few years, you can be a national sales manager as well, wherein you will be heading the country sales. The aspirants can also have their own ventures by opening his or her retail or a wholesale drugstore. The good part here is the incentives, which are very kind of fascinating. So at a time would come into your career that your basic salary is going to be kind of a little less, but the incentives which you are going to achieve through your sales is going to be a little bit on the higher note. So in turn, the incentives which are there in the sales and in the marketing domain and the growth which you receive are kind of very fascinating in the field, along with the challenges which we have. So this is about sales and marketing. The next domain which we have is hospital and community pharmacy. Now, these are for the people who would like to have a career in as a pharmacist. So into their respective countries or into their state pharmacy councils, they can apply for pharmacist registration and they can receive the registration, and they can have their own pharmacy shop, or they can work in a hospital pharmacy. So depending upon their career choice, they can be a hospital pharmacist or a community pharmacist. A third particular section we have here is the clinical pharmacist. So in India, we are now coming up with this kind of like concept that there will be a clinical pharmacist which will be assigned to a particular department. Okay, so I'm not saying here the hospital, but the department. So say for example, if you're going to Medanta, then there are different departments therein. There's a heart department, there's a neuro department, there's an ortho department, there's a pediatric department. So to each every department, there will be a clinical pharmacist. So the doctor is going to write the prescription, and then the patient is going to come to the clinical pharmacist. He is going to educate the patient regarding the medicaments which he is going to have. Okay, so what it is, how you have to take it, the dosage regimen and everything, what are the precautions which you need to take, okay, what all no food and no the other I would say the basic lifestyles they have to manage at the time of their course therapy so as to combat that particular disease will be taken care by the clinical pharmacist. So these are the career options which you have if you want to be a pharmacist, a co-pharmacist. Okay, so you can be into patient counseling, you can give detailed information regarding the products. You can also be responsible for maintaining the patient history. Okay, and also you can help them in having the self-diagnostic kits for basic disorders which are kind of like lifestyle diseases we say. So we have some lifestyle diseases like diabetes, like hypertension. No, these are now have the obesity. These are now have become a part of our lifestyle. So a basic like self-dispensing kits are nowadays being available where patients can self-dispense the medicines. So this can be a part of the sections which we have in hospital and in the community pharmacy. I'll move ahead now to a very relevant domain, which is product management team. Now, product management team is for the people who are kind of dynamic in nature, who are kind of like versatile, who likes to accept challenges. So, product management team is for those students. So, after having a PG degree in management domain, maybe in the pharma management or in the healthcare management, or in the associated disciplines, you can be a part of PMT. Now, what is the role of PMT? It is very versatile and it is very challenging. So you will be a core part of the marketing team. You will be creating the strategies. You will be working for product launches. You will be creating the literature contents or the collaterals. You must have seen the different colored leaflets which the MSRs keep with them at the time of explaining their product to the doctors. So in which all the information regarding your product, the scientific details are being mentioned. Now, who creates that particular literature content? That is being created by the PMT team. So they are like kind of the backstage warriors who takes care of these particular things. The major part of product management team is also providing training to the field staff. So you have to be a good trainer also, because most of the times the field staff, the MSRs are not so much scientifically sound. So you have to train them with respect to the product knowledge, how you have to sell it, what are the unique selling points you have to pitch at the time of explaining your product to the doctor. So all the training particular aspects are also being taken care by the PMT people. Also, one of the core job descriptions of PMT is going to the field itself. So being a part of the corporate team, PMT people travels across the country time to time, and they the field staffs escorts them, and they meet the different doctors time to time so as to either increase the sale or to maintain the good kind of, I would say, relationship or the reputation which they have with respect to the organization which they are working in. So PMT is a very good domain for the students who want to have their career in with respect to the marketing sections. So you will be responsible for exhaustive market research. You will be responsible for designing the layout of the product launch, the literature creation, training of the field force, query handling of the doctors and the field force. Sometimes you may come up with very basic questions from the doctor's side or from the nursing staffs of the hospital regarding your medicament. Say, for example, if you have a parenteral which is kind of like lyophilized in nature or sterile in nature, now you have to reconstitute that particular parenteral so that you can inject it to the patient. You can administer it to the patient. Now, you have to tell the nursing staff that what is the basic diluent you have to use at the time of reconstitution. Because if you are using a wrong diluent, then either the drug would degrade or it would decompose or it would precipitate. So these basic queries sometimes comes across the doctor's mind or the nursing staff's mind. So it goes to the field staffs. The field staffs coordinates with the PMT people, and the PMT people come up with the right answer. Okay, so you will be engaged in satisfying the queries also which the doctors and the field forces have. Also, you need to have go for the field visits also in respect to the field staff. So these are the specific domains which we have in the product management team. Now, the next section we have is academicians. So like us, you can be good academicians also, and you can pursue the field you want to have your career in academia as per your interest. You can do well in pharmacology, pharmaceutics, pharmacognosy, pharmacochemistry, and the allied disciplines, quality assurance, and the different sections. You can go ahead with the research related aspects also. Okay, so you can apply for the research posts like JRF, like SRF, or the other training departments. So depending upon the country to the country, like in India, we have different projects which are being given by Department of Biotechnology, CSIR, ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. Okay, so DST, Department of Science and Technology. So you can apply for the respective JRFs and the SRFs, and you can be a part of the research sections also. So academia's door are also open if someone wants to have a career in this particular aspect. The next section we have is regulatory affairs. Now, regulatory affairs are the people who are like kind of the front warriors of any pharma company. So if any pharma company wants to expand their business, they are going for the export purpose or for the import purpose. So RA is the team which helps in channelizing these basic export and the import categories. So whatever the rules and the regulations which we have in India, if I say in India, we have the CDSCO, which is the main body through which approves the import and export activities. So to the different countries, we have different regulations. Like in US, we have US FDA. In Australia, we have TGA. In Japan, we have MHRA. So the different sections which we have, the regulatory bodies are there or the authorities are there. The RA people are going to take approval from them, and then only the export and the import processes helps. So you can be a very good learned professional in the field of regulatory affairs also. The next domain we have is pharmacovigilance. Now, pharmacovigilance is the domain which helps in studying the adverse drug reactions which might happen with the medicament in a larger population section. So there are basically two different sections which whenever we talk about pharmacovigilance. So either you can be a part of CDM, which is the clinical data management, because lots of data gets generated at the times of trial. So sections relating to collections, detections, and assessments, monitoring, and preventions of the data which are being collected, so as to help them understanding the adverse reactions or the adverse effects associated with the medicaments will be the part of CDM, clinical data management. Or you can be a part of CTM, which is clinical trials management. So it is a kind of a field job, and whatever the trials which are happening for that particular study, you are going to be a part of that. So vigilance is also, it can be a very good career options for the pharmacology students who want to have a career for this particular domain. Then the next career we have is medical content writing. Now, this is for the people who are very much good in literature writing. There are people who are like who writes very beautifully. I mean, few people express their thoughts and words through writing. So if you are a good writer, you can be a very good medical content writer also. Okay, because now if you type a single word in Google, you get numbers of informations through different websites. So who is creating that particular knowledge or the data or the facts or the information on those websites? So it is the work of the medical content writers at the back end. So you will be dealing with the creation of the scientific and the educational materials, but you have to be sure that the information which you are sharing is kind of accurate in nature, complete, balanced, and is presented in an appropriate manner. Okay, so you can be a very good medical content writer in the future if you're good in writing skills. Then the next career we have is an educational counselor. As I have said that pharma is now turning out to be interdisciplinary in nature. So you can be an educational counselor also. After graduation or undergraduation, you can be an educational counselor. You can work in companies like Toppers, Byju's, Lido Learning, and maybe Prep Online. These are the companies which gives you a platform with a very lucrative package, yearly packages, wherein you will be an counselor. You will be asking your prospective customers, which are obviously going to be either the students or their parents, to buy that particular app which they are selling for the education purpose. So it is a kind of like edutech field which we say, and the pharma students are going into that particular domain to be a part of an educational counselor team. So edutech is an upcoming career option which is there with the pharmacy students. They just have to tap the door and they have to explore the opportunity. Okay, the other career opportunity I would say is a pharma recruiter. Now, if you want to be a recruiter, you don't need to do an MBA in HR. You directly can be a pharma recruiter. Okay, so there are different US recruiting firms who are hiring pharma students to be the scientific recruiter or the pharma recruiter for their particular domains. Because you are the people who are rich with the technical and the conceptual knowledge which are associated with the pharma. So you can help them in hiring the people which they particularly looking for the pharma domain. So pharma recruiter is a very good domain with a lucrative package. There are companies like IRI which are offering very good opportunities for the people to work in pharma recruiter field. So I mean these are few of the career options which like I have told you, but this is not the end. This is this is just the starting, I would say. I mean, if we go ahead, then there are like lots of the things which we can come up with. But for today's section, I have like taken up these particular head points only. Now we have discussed about various career opportunities. So it is like the learning part is what we have come upon. But now next process is the implementation part. How are we going to implement it? Because this is 2020 and we had lots of conceptions about 2020. Our honorable visionary leader, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, had given us a vision of 2020. But somehow, because of the pandemic situation, things didn't turned out as expected. Although we did well as a pharma professional, ours was the only industry which grew. And now India is called as the pharmacy of the world. But still we have to do a lot. And as a student, again, we have to go to the basic concepts so as to do well and come across this pandemic situation with flying colors. Because challenges are everywhere. Okay, challenges are there at your part, at the recruiter's part, that means the company's part who is going to hire you, and at our part also. So as your campus coordinators who are engaged with the campus hirings. Challenges are everywhere, but we have to prepare ourselves for the challenges which are going to come up with respect to your career fields. So there are few basic challenges which I'm going to show you first, and then we will be going on the implementation part, that how we have to come across that particular challenges. So let's discuss about the challenges we will be facing post-COVID. So basically, if we look to the challenges with respect to the three main verticals, as a student, obviously you will be one of the vertical. As the placement team who will be engaged with your placements, your campus placements, there will be challenges for them. And for the recruiters also, the companies who are going to hire you, there will be challenges from them also. Because now is the situation where we have turned to blended mode of learning. We are now going on online classes, online webinars and whatnot. So even this hiring process has also turned to the virtual mode, or I would say the blended mode. The joining has turned up to the blended mode. Now the pre-placement talks are happening online. The joinings are happening online. Students are working from home. Sometimes they are reporting to their subordinates or maybe their leaders, and sometimes they're working at home. So we first of all have to prepare ourselves to work in this new normal now, which is now the blended mode of learning, and I would say the blended mode of working. Okay, so the first is, let's see the challenges which the recruiter is going to have. The pharma company who is going to recruit you, they are going to have. So you can see, first of all, the challenge is to replace the in-place interviews to the digital interviews, because they now have to come up with that particular setups. Beforehand, the online tests which were used to happen through pen and paper writing, now they have to shift it to online. And so is the group discussions, the PI, the HR round. Then filling the holes which are left by postponed or cancelled recruitment drives. Effective onboarding. Okay, they are allowing the freshers to join from their home, work from home. So they have to make sure that they effectively onboard the students from their home. Then maintaining a positive candidate experience amid all this chaos and uncertainty. They haven't met you, face to face. Then also they have to make sure that that positive environment remains there. Then conveying your company culture to the candidates without any kind of like physical meeting. What is their expectation? What are their policies? They have to explain them to you. Okay, so what are the cultures which the company, the organization follows? They have to brief the students about that. Then thinking about the workforce monitoring months ahead. Difficulties in getting the right applications and reducing the hiring cost. These are the very prominent challenges which the recruiters are facing. So rather than looking just to our challenges, we have to understand the perspective of recruiters also. As the placement team, people are also facing challenges because there are limited outreach to the companies. There is minimum hiring in the present situation. There is aligning to whole of the process to the virtual recruitment team through the online mode and through the blended mode. Then there is this main, I think the main problem, which is communicating with students. So we either have to communicate with them through mail communication, through WhatsApp, through telephone, but it is very important that that communication remains active. So we need to have few dedicated team from the students themselves. There can be student placement coordinators who can channelize well with their peers and with the team we have at the campus, so that the proper communication can be channelized between them and the students, and then working with other college departments also, because placement is not a single hand team. It is not a one man army. So there are multiple departments involved. So it is very important that we coordinate well with the other departments as well. So challenge is with us as well. Okay. Now next comes the most important challenge, which is for you all, which is challenges for the students. The first is there is now no traditional physical interview, I can say at least for an year. So at least for the people who are going to graduate in 2021, there I think is not going to be much of the opportunities for any physical interviews. Then next is preparing for interview and the written tests. When you are in the college, we help you how to go for mock interviews, GDs, PIs. Even now that no capsule training is being shifted to online mode. Because here the institutions are trying their best to help their students for that capsule training, the mock interview processes. But ultimately, it is up to the student how they have to prepare. So that is also a very important challenge which students are facing. The third challenge is the opportunities. Although as compared to the opportunities which we had an year back, comparative note, we are having less opportunities in the pharma domain as well, especially in the fields related with sales and marketing. So we have less job opportunities. Receiving proper guidance and monitoring. This is also an important domain because that relationship of mentor and mentee somewhere has been distracted. So proper guidance, that mentoring is somewhere been missing. So that is also a challenge which the student is facing. Delay in joining. Now this is a very practical situation, the challenge which we are facing. Companies have delayed their onboarding. We are thankful to them that at least they haven't revoked the offer letters, but yeah, there is delay in joining. So there's a kind of an uncertainty, there's a kind of like panic and anxiety among the students when the joining is going to happen for the select student. So after looking to all the challenges from the recruiter's perspective, from the campus perspective, from the student's perspective, comes the question how we have to proceed next, how we have to pave the way ahead, how we have to implement the what all our last 1 hour's discussion was. So again, I'm going to come up to the basics. We have to now implement the knowledge which we have gained so far. So first of all, we need to set our goal. Right now, we have looked to numbers of career opportunities, but there is also a saying that one cannot sail on 2 boats at a time. So you have to choose your career first. You have to choose your goal, what you want to be. That is how we have to start. That is going to be the first step. The second is the action plan for the placements team. So we have to work upon increasing the number of the companies to be approached. We have to work in team through digital platforms. We have to work upon preparing and monitoring the students. We have to mentor them in a proper way so that they could apply to all the opportunities which are being given to them. They should not be selective in nature in this particular scenario. Okay, so they should throw themselves to all the opportunities which are being given. They should be ready. They should ready themselves for the digital recruitment processes. They have to be good on online assessment tests, digital GD, PI, technical rounds, and whatnot. Whatever the training is being required, we should provide them to the students. There should be a proper placement cell for the students. Then there should be some opportunities which should be provided to them for this particular challenging situation. And above all, the students need to be realistic in nature. They need to understand the real-time situation. And rather than running towards chasing your dream job, you should explore the opportunities which are being given to your basket. So that is the action plan for the placement teams. And through applying these things, we can have a student who is well placed, I can say, and I can assure you this. Then next is the action plan for the students themselves. First of all, they have to be a positive mindset. Pandemic is a situation which has come for all, not just for you all. So you need to have a positive mindset. You need to have positive vibrations. You should be open to explore and enhance the skill sets. You need to be more realistic towards choosing your career path. Okay, you need to look to the real time situations and then act accordingly. You should work towards your soft skills and the etiquette parts, because we have seen this that our students are very well when it comes to the technical or the conceptual knowledge, but when it comes to the soft skills or the communication parts, we kind of lack somewhere. Not all, but some of us. So we need to work on that particular weak point. And also we need to prepare ourselves for more number of virtual recruitment drives for the year ahead. So this is the action plan which is going to be for the students. You need to excel in academics. It is not like that we have shifted to blended learning, so you could just switch on your class, online class, you will mute your video and audio, and then you are just off to the class. You have to be technically sound, you need to excel in academics. Okay, you need to implement your knowledge. These are the transformations you need to do among yourselves. So whatever the theoretical knowledge which you are gaining from your classroom studies, from your books, you have to implement it practically. Okay, so whatever the knowledge which you are gaining, try to implement it on a practical note. Okay, so be rather than being a book bugger, try to be a kind of an explorer in terms of the practical aspects. Enhance your knowledge through internet, because internet is now, I think, the platform which gives you ultimate number of opportunities to explore your skills. Learn Python, learn machine learning, learn about AI, learn about data science, R programming. There are numerous certification courses which are available online. You can do certification courses from Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council. You can do it from Coursera, from Diversify. You can do it from Udemy. Now we have Neptal also, Swayam courses. There are different platforms available, and many of them are like without any kind of fees. I hope for our international participants also, there must be many courses available for you all. Obviously, there are courses from Coursera, which is worldwide, from WHO, which you can explore, and it should definitely enhance your knowledge skill sets. Okay, so please try to enhance your knowledge. Try to collab with live projects which are happening on site. Try to get good certification courses and trainings. Utilize your time. Please don't waste your time. Okay. Also, believe in knowledge sharing. Okay, try to participate in what all the sessions which are happening. Interact with your alumni, with your teachers, with your workshops, because now we have turned to the digital mode. So somewhere this communication part and the knowledge sharing part has come to the backside. So until and unless we share the knowledge, we will not be able to grow. So interact with your teachers, your alumni, engage in different internationals or national seminars, workshops, conferences. That will help you in enhancing your brain and the intellect you have. So knowledge sharing is very much important. And I would say this is actually my last slide of the presentation, that above all, this is the situation which is going to end at some time of your point, and we have to make sure that by the time the situation ends, we are prepared. We have prepared ourselves to achieve the goals which we have decided at the starting, and have implemented all the visions and the missions which we had in our life. So above all, before everything, have a self belief. Believe in yourself, then only you will be able to excel in flying colors. So with this line, I'm going to end my session. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently. And I would like to extend my gratitude to whole of the team SPSR, Dr. Shashi Alok, Dr. Monica Sabarbal, Dr. Swati Jain, Dr. Ruchi Tiwari, for allowing me to interact with you all and have a very engaging interaction today. So thank you so much, whole of the team SPSR. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the nice word, for your appreciation. Thank you so much. And thank you for sparing your time for this webinar and enlightening our participants regarding the pharma career, which will definitely help them to become a good professionals and entrepreneurs. As this webinar has been so engaging and interesting, we have many questions. So our participants are waiting for their answers. The first question is, ma'am, what is the scope for PharmD students in India?
We have Farm Day is a domain which is like of not so much being explored in India, but yeah, Farm Day no doubt is a good opportunity, and you can be into so whatever the domains which we have for B Farm graduate or an M Farm graduate applies same to the Farm Day. So please don't keep yourselves kind of like distracted from the track. You can be very good into sales and marketing, academics, maybe in vigilance domain, maybe in the management domain you want to work in. So you just need to understand your the interest area and work accordingly for that particular domain.
Okay. Ma'am, the second question is, after graduation, what is the scope in medical writing? What we can do to explore in this field?
That's a very good question. Medical writing is a very, I think, good and upcoming domain for the future generations. Who, because I see people who are, I mean, very, young generations who are very good in writing. They are like bloggers, I would say. So you can, if you want to have a career specifically in medical writing, you can do some kind of certification courses which are available. You need to explore them, and then you can enter into organizations who are dedicatedly working in medical writing, and then you can start at the initial level, and then you can grow accordingly. So those specifically for the people who are like good in writing can go for the certification courses and then work in the medical writing domain.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. It was the question mine too. Is there any supportive course we need to complete for pharmacovigilance?
There are numerous courses available. I mean, if you go for the support courses for pharmacovigilance, please explore the website of Coursera. You will find beautiful courses which are aligned by different learned people across the world. So you will find good courses from John Hopkins University, University of Geneva, and whatnot. Please, just try to engage this word of exploring and go through the Coursera website. You'll find different beautiful courses there. Please do join the courses.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, next question is, what is better, MTech pharmaceutical chemistry or M.Pharm pharmaceutical chemistry? Is there any difference between these two courses, and which one is better?
MTech pharmaceutical chemistry and M.Pharm pharmaceutical chemistry. See, obviously there is a difference. That is why we have two different disciplines. First of all, the entry to this particular course matters. So for maybe M.Pharm pharmacochemistry, you need to have a GPAT scorecard, to qualify for M.Pharm sections. But for MTech, you may have to channel through a different competitive exam, maybe GATE or the other particular university entrance examinations. So for MTech in pharmaceutical chemistry, the companies are almost going to be the same. You will find better opportunities in MTech, obviously, because then the doors will be open to the core chemical industries also, maybe fertilizers or the different chemical sections which we have in India. So obviously I think the path is going to differ at the time of getting entry to the programs also, and at the time of joining also.
Yes, ma'am. Next question is, as a hospital and community pharmacist, how can we explore the opportunity outside the India?
Outside the India. First of all, you have to go through the regulatory norms for that particular country. Okay, because it is not like that whatever the rules which we have under CDSCO in India will be implemented in other countries also. It may be implemented or it may not be implemented. So whatever the authorities you want to whatever the country you are planning to visit, you have to go through that. You have to seek permissions through the local authorities who are associated with the pharmaceutical regulations. Then only you can be a hospital or a clinical pharmacist there. Until and unless you don't have the license, you are doing an illegal activity. So my request is, please don't do that until and unless you are sure with the documentation part, you have the license, then only be a hospital or a clinical pharmacist in country other than India.
Yes, ma'am. Next question is, M-Pharm in biotech is better for the future or it's better to do in other branches?
Again, I would say, whosoever question it is, it depends upon your interest only. So biotechnology is my favorite. I mean, I would say. So if you are interested in this domain, please go ahead with it. Okay, because see, whatever the paths, the fields which we have, all are specialized. We cannot say that this is a less better specialization or this is a good better specialization. So there is always an equilibrium. Now it depends upon the individual's expertise, that to which particular expertise he is going to do the justice with. So if you are good with biotechnology, if you have interest in biotechnology, please go ahead with it. Other disciplines are also good, but if you are interested in that domain, follow your heart and go ahead with this particular discipline.
Yeah. Now we are moving towards ending of this session. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable points regarding the pharma career and sparing your time. Thank you all participants for your active participation. We have been shared the feedback link in the live chat. Please fill that feedback link. It's a request to all participants. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Swati ma'am. Thank you once again, Dr. Shashi Alok sir and SPSR.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Ma'am.
so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.